Before you submit everything, once you have everything working, one thing you definitely want to get in the habit of doing is taking out your extra print lines. So that one's working. So I'm going to take out the print lines and make sure it's all clean because it's Gradescope sometimes gets messed up with extra print lines, and it's just a good habit professionally. You don't leave all those print lines around. Print lines are very, very slow, and they slow down your program. So once everything's working, take them out. If it's not working yet, leave them. It's okay, or comment them out if you're not sure. But don't take them out till you know it's working. All right. So we did pass the first one. The next one we didn't match. We returned 0, but we expected 5 for the number of files. Now, as I said, I was hoping that maybe you took a shot at this because it's very, very, very similar. It's actually a very close tweak of what we did up above. And if you haven't started it yet, think about it for a second and see if you can start it. And I'll explain the problem, what's similar and different about it. Maybe you can start it. I mean, following along is great. Do it if you need it, but taking a shot at it, even if you aren't quite sure, sometimes helps your brain start to connect when you see, the answer come in front of you. Don't be entirely a passenger on your journey here. All right, so let's think about it. The first problem, we navigated through subdirectories and we counted every time we saw a subdirectory. So what is a file? Well, it's the opposite of a subdirectory, right? A subdirectory has files inside of it. And so if it's not a subdirectory, well, then it's a file. So pretty simple. So when I said, is it a directory? Well, the opposite of that is it must be a file. Now, there might be a method to say is file. I could use that method. I'm not going to. I'm just going to build off of what we have here. I'm going to, keep it simple. And there actually is a is file. Well, maybe we'll use it. We'll actually might need it here in a second. But what I can do is I can basically, when I'm in a folder, I can go through that folder and list all the files. And if it's a file, I count it. And if not, it's a directory, then I want to go and recurse on it, I think, right? That's kind of what I did here. Now, if you can jump to that and code it, then do so right now. Just pause this video and jump ahead. If you're not sure, then do what I'm going to do right now and just build it up a little bit at a time. Let's see how we can have the problem we had deal with a new problem. So go ahead and pause if you want to, and then we'll continue. All right, so we're continuing. I'm going to start real simple. I think I probably need these two. I don't want to copy everything. I think I probably need these two. And let's just make sure I'm on the right path. Make sure everything's still working. I haven't broken anything. So code small. Okay, so we can see A, B, and C. I'm printing that out again. So I know, well, if os.path.is directory, it's the same thing up above. I'm just going to type it again just because it helps my mind work through it. Full path. So if it's a directory, well, let's just call number of files full paths. Well, I started to, let me just show you here. I started to type start directory. I just accidentally, my subconscious started to type it. But let me show you what happens if I did do that, right? Oh, boom, big blow up. Maximum recursion depth exceeded while calling Python object. What happened right here? Well, let me show you. Print start directory. If you have a blow up like this, this is a great way to see what happened. So, oh, I never actually navigate into the subdirectory, which should be obvious, right? So I go keep checking the same file over and over and over again. So how many rooms are in this building? How many rooms are in this building? How many rooms are in this building? I never go into a room, right? I have to go into the room to be able to, answer that question more fully. Otherwise, I end up standing in the same place the whole time. So my little accidental glitch, which maybe you did, or would do sometime, just remember, I can just check that out. So full path. I can keep the print or not. I'm going to keep the print for now. But let's see what happens. Okay, so if we start in file test, then we see A, 1, 4, A. So back to A. We're printing it twice because we print it here and we print it here. But that's okay. And then I say B, 2, D, 5, D. Again, printed before and after. B, before and after. C, 3, C. Okay, so we can see when we enter each one of them. And if you're not sure, put it right there. Help yourself. add to your print characters. So entering file test, entering A. Okay, well, 1 for A. This is where we actually work on it there before. Entering B. 2, 5. Oh, 2. Entering D. Okay, so we can see. Okay, hopefully, maybe you're getting a little bit better at reading this. This is the code I wrote. Maybe if you write it yourself or come up with your own way of seeing it, maybe you'll see it a little bit better. But this is a very useful skill. All right, so I can definitely see this. So now let's see. It's expecting 5. So why would it be expecting 5? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 4, 2, 5, 3. There's 5 files inside of there, right? That's why it's expecting 5 of them. That makes sense, right? So, well, what I want to do is a couple things I can do here. I could do else. So if it's not a file, if it's not a directory, excuse me, count equals count plus 1. If you're into it, you can also say count plus equal 1, whatever you want, right? So right there might solve my problem. Let's see, because the strategy I'm saying is, okay, well, if it's a directory, I go and check it out, and otherwise I add to the count. Okay, so let's see. Oh, what happened? I returned 0 still. I don't know. What happened? Well, let's see. Let's see what count is. Am I not updating count? Let's see. 0, 0, 0. Yeah, it's 0 every single time. Oh, but it's not 0 every single time. There it's 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. So it does add it, but it's not adding to count overall. Well, what I have to remember is when I define count right here, I'm only defining it, if you will, for that room. So it's kind of like me walking into a room and counting the number of doors, 7. But when I go back out of that room, I forget. Right? I have to carry that data out with me and do something with it. So the reason why I have 0 is, well, because if I go look at my folder structure in file test, there's no folders inside of here. But I'm not registering the number of folders in each one of these directories. So simple. This was a silly mistake I made right here. So count plus equal, same as count. It's the same as saying count equals count plus. Yeah, just showing you the two notations here, if you haven't seen them before. So these two essentially do the same thing. But now what I'm saying is when I get the number of files back, I'm going to add that into my total. Aha! I solved my problem. I'm now returning 5s. All right. So again, these are not bad recursion problems. If you can't solve it yet, you just need more experience. You just need to see it some more. Let's let you play with the size here and see if you can do size. Then we'll come back and look at it here in a second. But let me give you a little quick hint. os.path.getSize. And that will tell you the size of the file. So see if you can solve that problem, and if not, we'll come back to it in a minute.